All of our guests absolutely speak amazingly well of you and the professionalism of our systems and the communication, which I think probably add to the position that the show has in the international fitness industry. The Fitness Business Podcast is now an internationally recognized brand. And as we said earlier, it's got 500,000 downloads. So it may even in fact be one of the most popular fitness business podcasts on the planet. My question for you is, why do you think this show has been so successful?
So, JT, first of all, I think that there's no one singular factor for success. So it's made up of a whole lot of things. And I guess I'm going to wrap this answer up and say thank you as well as identifying those areas of success for us. So first and foremost, the show wouldn't be what it is if we didn't have the guests that come on the show every single week. And some of you may have heard me say it before, but every single guest that has appeared on the show over 260 episodes, they volunteer their time to come on the show. They're not paid. They give up their time. They share their knowledge and experience with all of us here every single week. And we just have so much admiration and respect for those guests. So that's a huge factor to where we are today and the success that we've had so far. I really feel, and this is big in the podcast industry, because if we rewind the clock, when we started podcasting, not everyone really knew what a podcast was. And it definitely took us a little bit of time to refine the show format. But I think the format of the show is actually super important. And I get a lot of listener feedback about the fact that we deliver the content and the education in a very succinct way. And that is not an accident. And so we go into every single show with the intention of getting the information to the FBP family as quickly as possible, so that you can have that little source of information in that format. So we follow the same flow on purpose. We have our segments that we do each week, like the Pre-Call Quick Fire 5, our new Rewind segment, which hopefully some of you have caught already. So all of our segments are done on purpose. So that format, I think, is really important to our success as well, because having that set format, it's like watching a TV show that you watch every single week. You know what's coming, you know what to expect, and you then can rely on what's coming out. Again, the consistency has been really important. So what some of you, anyone that's like a big fan of podcasts and listen to a number of different shows, what you may have noticed is that we release the Fitness Business Podcast every single week on exactly the same day at exactly the same time. That is really important for me to make sure that we do that. I want you to know that you can rely on getting that education every single week. And I really feel as though that has played a factor in setting us apart from a lot of other shows, which are super sporadic. And sometimes they'll have 2 a week, and sometimes they won't have one for a month. That can be all over the shop. So consistency has been key. The other kind of areas that I can't miss, one is our partners and our advertisers. So each week you guys will hear me talk about one of our amazing partners of the show, and we've had support from so many of our partners over the years for a long period of time. So they have been instrumental, and in the last 12 months we've had some new friends join us as well, our advertisers. So that's been super important, because honestly, without their financial support, we definitely wouldn't have a show. So huge shout out to all of our partners and our advertisers. And last but not least would also be our ambassadors, and all of you who are listening or watching right now that share the show and talk about the show and, use it in your team meetings. And, for us, that's super important, because the only way that we're going to spread the word and get more ears, get more people listening is thanks to your help and you guys sharing the show. So that's a really important factor to our success as well.
That's a great list. Thanks for sharing that. And I would agree with all of those. Plus, of course, the professionalism at which you do your research and interview. And I might ask you a question about that a little bit later.